During a recent chat with the playlist, Foundation star Lee Pace was asked whether he's had any talks about playing Batman in James Gunn's DC universe. Now, he didn't exactly say yes, but he didn't shoot the idea down either. Instead, Pace chose to reflect on how much of an honor it would be for anyone to step into such a legendary role. He talked about how fun and iconic Batman is, and how lucky actors are to take on that kind of character, giving a nod to all the performers who have made Batman their own over the years. In short, Pace said, "I can't answer that in this context," before going on to call Batman one of the great, fun cinematic characters. He clearly holds a lot of respect for the role and the legacy behind it. So while there was no clear confirmation, he definitely didn't deny anything either, which keeps speculation alive. Right now, with James Gunn's Superman movie kicking off the new DCU, the studio is gearing up to introduce fresh versions of other big names too, including Wonder Woman and, of course, Batman. Naturally, as the DCU evolves, fans are going to keep buzzing about who might wear the cape next. But at this stage, nobody involved, whether they're actually in the running or just rumored, can publicly say a word. When it comes to high-stakes projects like this, secrecy is everything. If you think back, Gunn didn't reveal the casting of David Corenswet, Nicholas Hoult, or Rachel Brosnahan for Superman until right before filming started. That move kept their casting under wraps until it could be officially announced, which helped avoid leaks from on-set photos or early scoops. So, it's no surprise that any info about Batman, or even early contenders like Pace, would be locked down tight for now. Still, it's fun to think about what Pace could bring to the role. If you've seen his performance as Brother Day in Foundation, then you already know he's got the kind of commanding presence, emotional restraint, and subtle vulnerability that would make for a compelling Bruce Wayne. He plays the cold, calculating leader well, but you can also see the layers underneath, which is exactly what Batman needs. Also, Pace isn't a stranger to superhero films. He played Ronan the Accuser in Guardians of the Galaxy. While that role didn't give him a ton of depth to explore, it showed he could handle intense, otherworldly characters. And given how Gunn has already brought over other MCU alumni like Frank Grillo and Nathan Fillion for more substantial parts in the DCU, it wouldn't be shocking if he wanted to give Pace another shot, this time with a much meatier role. Of course, Lee Pace isn't the only actor who's expressed interest in being Batman. Alan Ritchson, the guy tearing it up as Jack Reacher on Prime Video, has been openly campaigning for the role for a while now. He's gone on record saying how badly he wants it, even joking that he'd do it for free. And while Robert Pattinson continues his journey as Batman in Matt Reeves' separate universe, that franchise doesn't overlap with Gunn's DCU, so the door is technically open. Recently, James Gunn appeared on Josh Horowitz's Happy Sad Confused podcast and mentioned that casting for Batman hadn't officially started yet. But with Superman moving along and the next phase of the DCU taking shape, that casting process is probably right around the corner. Looking ahead, the DCU has a packed slate for 2026, including Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and Clayface. After that, there's The Authority, and then we get Batman the Brave and the Bold, the movie that'll finally give us our DCU Batman. So it's safe to say that decisions about who gets to wear the cape will need to happen sooner rather than later. So where does Ritchson stand in all of this? Well, he definitely brings something unique to the table, especially in terms of sheer presence. He's arguably the most physically imposing actor to ever be considered for Batman. Standing at 6'3", he matches Ben Affleck's height and towers over most of the other guys who have played the role. Pattinson is 6'1", Bale and Kilmer were 6 foot, Clooney was 5'11", and Keaton was the shortest at 5'9". But it's not just about height. Ritchson has the kind of build that makes you believe Gotham's criminals would actually be terrified of Batman. And fans already know he can carry an action-heavy series thanks to Reacher. James Gunn hasn't endorsed anyone yet, but when asked about Ritchson, he adds some kind words. On that same podcast, he said, "I'm a big Alan Ritchson fan, both as an actor and as a guy. Let's just wait and see what happens." That's not a yes, but it's definitely not a no either. It at least tells us that Ritchson is on Gunn's radar, which counts for something. Meanwhile, over in Matt Reeves' corner of the Batman world, things are starting to pick up again. Colin Farrell, who played Oswald Cobblepot, aka the Penguin, recently gave some updates about where things stand with the Batman 2 and a possible Batman 3. According to Farrell, the script for the second movie is officially finished, and while he hasn't read it yet, he expects to dive into it soon. That's a big step forward, especially since filming is expected to start by the end of 2025. As for The Penguin, which earned an impressive 24 Emmy nominations, there's talk about a second season, but nothing is confirmed. Farrell mentioned that there have been conversations about it, especially after the show's success, but said there's no movement on Season 2 right now. Still, he's preparing for the Batman 2, and he even mentioned Batman 3, although he was quick to clarify that nothing's been greenlit, and he doesn't know if he's even in it yet. So what does all this mean? It shows that both versions of Batman, Reeves' grounded noir-style take and Gunn's upcoming DCU version, are moving forward independently. Reeves' films have their own trajectory, with actors like Farrell possibly sticking around for multiple sequels. And the Batman 2, with its finished script, is inching closer to production. But The Brave and the Bold is still the wild card, the movie that will reset Batman for the shared DC universe. That's why the casting is so important. Whoever Gunn chooses will be Batman for an entire connected world of superheroes, standing shoulder to shoulder with Superman, Supergirl, and eventually Wonder Woman. That actor has to bring something different, something that sets him apart from Pattinson while still feeling like the Dark Knight fans love. And that's why names like Lee Pace and Alan Ritchson keep coming up. Pace could bring elegance, intensity, and emotional depth. Ritchson could bring grit, raw power, and a no-nonsense edge. Both actors are known, marketable, and capable of making Batman their own. At the end of the day, we're still waiting for that big reveal, but what's clear is that James Gunn is taking his time, and that's probably a good thing. Rushing the casting or forcing Batman into the spotlight too soon could backfire. Instead, Gunn seems to be focused on making sure the story is right first, then finding the actor who can bring it to life. So what do you think? Would you rather see someone like Lee Pace take on the role with that quiet intensity and strategic mind? Or are you leaning toward Alan Ritchson, who already has the look, the voice, and the action chops? Either way, the next Batman is going to play a huge role in shaping the future of the DCU, and it's going to be interesting to see who lands it. Let us know your pick for the next Dark Knight in the comments. And that wraps up today's video. If you want to stay in the loop with all the latest movie and series news, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a big thumbs up, because I'll be bringing you more updates on upcoming movies before they even drop, so keep an eye out for that, along with the latest on your other favorite shows and movies. Stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one.